Can you help me through this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the CME Group Tour Championship, the final event of the 2015 LPGA season. And Stacy, it's been a long season, but an exciting week that we have here. I know you've been here last year, had the same thing on the line, $1 million, one of 3 players who controls their own destiny. How do you feel coming into this week?
Well, I feel really good. I feel really good with where my game's at. The goal the last month or so was to make sure I was in the top 3 coming into this week so I could, control my own destiny and wouldn't have to worry about anybody else. So I'm glad to be in that position, and I like the way I'm playing. I like the way, I played over these last few weeks.
Took a week off last week. First time probably that you've ever come into this event having had a little bit of rest. How much of a difference do you think that makes for you coming into what is always a very busy week?
I hope it's a good thing. I've felt better these last couple of days, been able to kind of spread out the obligations over 3 days instead of 2. And, just having a week off to kind of adjust to the time change and get back in the U.S. is always nice. And, to be able to just drive from my house on Sunday was pretty nice, too.
Always good when you're in your car and it's a drivable distance away. Overall this season, you're used to coming into this event with a lot on the line, just as you have this week, but probably not as much on the line this week as there have been in years past. When you look back at this season so far, how kind of would you sum up your year?
It's really been pretty good. You look at, I've had to go through a lot of changes with some equipment this year, and that's kind of added to a lot of frustration, but with all that, I've still had a lot of really good finishes. So, I don't even know. I definitely would have liked to have won for sure, but all in all, if you can not win a tournament and be 3rd on the money list and 3rd in the CME points and still have a chance to win $1 million at the end of the year, it's really not that bad, and I got one more week to win, so got another chance at it.
Not bad is a really good way to describe it, because I would say it's pretty good. Just by your standards, I know you're pretty high up there. I'm going to open it up for questions. First one here, Steve DeMaglio.
Having said that, how frustrating is it not to have a W? And if you don't win this week, is it a disappointment?
If I don't win, no, I don't think it's disappointing. If I don't play well, that would be more disappointing to me. But I'd be lying if I say I wasn't frustrated. I definitely am. But I played good golf. It's not like I played really poorly. I just haven't had everything come together in a tournament. So it's frustrating, but if anything, I've learned how to move on a little quicker. Getting over the second place finishes a little quicker than I have in years past. And, really, I was dreading coming in here today because I didn't even want to talk about it because I moved on. I moved on from the seconds and the thirds, and I didn't even really want to talk about it today, to be honest with you. I know you guys are going to keep asking me some questions about it.
Is there anything you can point to why you don't have the W and you had it last year? Is there anything, or is it just the way the world works?
I mean, I think early in the year, I really struggled with the ball change and finding the right golf ball. Because I didn't find the right golf ball until the Canadian Open, which is in August. And I lost a lot of confidence in the summer. And I think that's a lot of it. I lost the trust that I was going to hit the shot when I needed to. And honestly, at Solheim, I started to get some of that back. You know, when somebody hits it in there close and I could hit it in there on top of them, you know, I started to get that trust back in my golf game. And I think that's the difference, because when you win tournaments, when you got to hit the shots, the pressure shots, you got to have belief that you can do it. And I didn't have that in the middle of the year.
Question right over here.
You sort of just stole my thunder by what you just said. But, I mean, other than building a little momentum in Solheim and finding the right ball and all those things, was there even a shot that you pointed to and said, okay, I like this feeling again? And all that negative energy from your mind just kind of went away. Was there a moment you can point to and say, this is when my year kind of turned around for me?
I don't know of a specific shot or anything, but I think it was definitely at Solheim. It was definitely on Saturday playing with Jarena. I got some trust back in my golf swing there, and just started seeing shots do what I wanted them to do. And like I said, when there's so many times at Solheim where somebody hit it in close and you had to respond and hit it on top of them, and I did that. And that is what was missing in the beginning of the year.
Two questions. First, back to the learning how to move on thing. You haven't had to do that much in your career. When you think about it, is there a positive that you can take away from it, going through all this, that can make you a better player moving forward?
I mean, I'm definitely not, I haven't been the best loser in the past. You know, I hate losing. I don't, and it would tend to stay with me for a long time. And over this last year, I've honestly I don't know what it is. I've just been able to move on quicker. And I think, and that's what I've learned from it. You know, you win a tournament and you move on from it really quick, because you're like, all right, I want to win the next week. And then if you finish second, you sit there and you think about it for 3 weeks, and then you don't play well the next 2 weeks. So if anything, I've learned how to move on a little quicker. That would be the biggest thing. But maybe it helps me down the road, maybe not. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going to come from it.
It's the mellowing, your old
Yeah.
age. Now you're 30.
Yeah, I'm getting old.
What was behind the ball change? Was it distance? What all was it?
So I had to change the Titleist I was playing last year because it was coming off the conforming list. So I went to Bridgestone because I like their golf ball and all that. And I started the year with the RX version, which is what Paula and Kari, like all the girls, seem to play. And I just wasn't seeing the ball react the way it should into greens, kind of releasing out more than I was used to. So then went to the RXS, which is a softer version, so trying to get some more spin there, and saw the opposite. It was actually releasing more, so didn't have the control with the wedges or anything. And so kind of in a panic. Where were we before the Canadian Open? Portland, yes. Portland was kind of the final straw. Just hitting good shots and just seeing them release out way more than they should. And so kind of called Bridgestone in a panic, and then they suggested the B330S, which is what I've been playing from then on, and just got the trust back in my short game, was able to hit my normal chip shots. I mean, I was hitting some horrible chip shots and thought it was my technique or I was doing something wrong, and it just kind of turned out it was all the golf ball. No, not distance issues, just more the way I was reacting into greens. So they were flying the right numbers, just releasing out way more than they should.
Stacy, despite trying to take the losses, the runner-up finishes in perspective, has the fact that Inby Park and Lydia Cove had such good seasons while you've not won, has that made it a little more difficult?
Yeah, a little bit, because I want to be in the conversation with those three. I want to be up there, fighting back and forth with them at this time of the year. So that it's definitely frustrating, but I mean they've had some unbelievable years, and it'll be fun. I think I get a front row seat for the first day at least to kind of see them go back and forth a little bit. So it should be pretty entertaining.
What if you could just elaborate briefly on their seasons? I mean, 5 wins apiece. That's strong stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, and you look, you got 3 majors between them, and And the events that they did win, they're kind of some of our bigger tournaments, and the consistency's been there for them all year. Lydia's played really impressive kind of since September on. Since Evian, she's played really well. Emby played better kind of that middle part of the year in the summer when she normally does. So, it'd be cool this week if you get them both playing well at the same time.
Question over here.
How is it remotely possible to play this week and not think about that giant box of cash awaiting somebody on Sunday? I mean, can you block that out?
Yeah, when you've had 6 runner-ups, you can block it out.
Right up here, Beth Ann. Right back.
2 questions. So I know in the past you've talked to Meg and Beth a little bit when you've had several heartbreaking runner-ups in a row. Did you have any heart-to-hearts this year? Talk to anybody?
No, I really haven't, other than kind of people close to me and my parents and family and that kind of thing. You just kind of learn it's golf. Sometimes things go your way and sometimes they don't. And, sometimes you play with the way Jessica Korda played in Malaysia. She wasn't going to be beat that day. And sometimes you play with people that play like that. So I don't know if I'm getting older or the perspective has changed a little bit. I don't know. I mean, it's just, like I said, it's just I've moved on quicker and I don't really know why. I mean, I haven't really talked to anybody about it or anything.
And then kind of follow up what he just said about playing for money. I know that that's not what you do and you're not a big spender. However, have you thought at all about what you might do with $1 million bonus? Any charitable ideas or anything along those lines?
I have no idea. I mean, I know I'd take care of Travis pretty good because he's been through a lot with me. But other than that, I have no idea. I would rather honestly have the win than the $1 million this week.
You'd take no money, probably.
Yeah, I'd take no money for a win.
Any other questions? Oh, Bill, come up here.
Just the experience with the 2 golf balls, Stacy, I guess really an example of the fine line that you elite players play at and how little things can turn into big things. Were you surprised that, it turned out to be a big thing?
Yeah, I mean, starting the year, I felt like I had tested enough. I felt like it was going to be good, and it just shows, we can have all the technology in the world that can shoot out numbers and stats and all that, and that just goes out the window because it comes down to what do you feel the best playing, what do you trust the best, and it doesn't matter what a spin rate or whatever, what a computer number spits out at you. It's what you believe that you're going to play well with, and it was definitely turned out to be more than I thought it was going to be, but I had also played the same golf ball for 6 years, so I didn't really know what it was like to change.
Any other questions for Stacy? Oh, right there, Greg.
How does Solheim, or what does it mean to you now as, you get further away from it and what you guys accomplished?
Well, Solheim for me has definitely been the highlight of the year. It was, looking back on it, it was amazing how we all came together on Sunday and played for something that was bigger than us, was bigger than just our teammates. We found something else to play for, and I think that was the coolest thing, and we're used to playing for each other every single week, and we found a bigger cause to play for, and that's kind of what we've been needing the last few.
Greg?
Can you go ahead and give me your assessment of what the young players on tour have done this year? Mm-hmm. Last year, I think there were like 25 and under had won like 13 tournaments. This year, I think it might be that or better. Mm-hmm. Does it seem like the talent keeps getting younger and younger?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like they're getting any older, that's for sure. It's just amazing that the next one just kind of keeps coming. It's not, you got Allison Lee and Minji and, Lydia's still young. She's still in that category. So even, I think, Seyoung Kim, she's pretty young too, right? So you got some players that have played well for, it seems like they've been playing well for a while, and they're still pretty young. So, but it's just the state of our game. It's the way it's been the last few years. It's the way it's probably going to continue to be. The way that development is in different countries and the different tours and ways that they have to develop their talent. it's being developed younger and younger. So that's the way it's just going to continue to be.
And along those lines, the LPGA, I believe, has gone from 5,000 to 50,000 in youth golf programs. So that's probably another area where we'll see in 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, I hope I hope our tour, continues to grow, continues with the kids, especially in the United States. I think in a way, United States is going to be kind of fighting to be keeping up with these other parts of the world. Just the way that, the different federations from the European countries to Korea to Japan, the way they have these tours and programs to develop their players, the U.S. is getting past right now. So, I hope as a tour we can help, aid in continuing that growth here in the U.S.
Any other questions? All right, well, thank you very much, Stacy, and best of luck this week.
Thank you.